Start the stage ou pas?
Pas encore, j'attends que...
Ils sont bêtes.
Hello everyone. So this is a weekly community call. So this is where we present what we've been working on this week and also give you the opportunity to do a bit of Q&A. So and talk with the team. We're not going to respond to like specific help questions here, but we're happy to discuss general topics or general question about our roadmap if needed. We have a relatively short changelog to present this week because the last changelog we've done was 2 days ago. And so the majority of the time is going to be spent on doing Q&A. But still, Alex and Hugo have some small changes to present. So I will basically leave them the mic for the time being. Alex, would you like to start?
Yeah, I can start. So yeah, my big project I'm working on right now is better integration with Microsoft Teams. We do have a lot of support for Slack right now, meaning you can, for example, have critical alerts sent to Slack channels, meaning if for example, your worker queue is growing too much, you can get notifications on predefined Slack channels. So right now, wherever we have Slack support, we want to also support Microsoft Teams. I'm still working on the integration, and I think we'll have something to show pretty soon. I want to quickly share my screen and show another feature I was working on, if I can pick the right. Actually, let me share my whole screen. It's going to be easier. Let me know if you can see my screen. All right, I assume so, yeah. So another, or maybe actually let me quickly show you. So in the instance settings, once it's ready, you'll be able to turn on, as you've done with Slack, you'll be able to basically turn on Teams as well and provide OAuth tokens and secret and the tenant ID. So this will then allow you, as you have in the current Slack settings. Let me find that in alerts. You'll be able to pick here Teams and then select a channel and send critical alerts to that channel in Teams as well. On top of that, we'll also support for enterprise clients like issues updates. So if you create feature requests or other report a bug or have other issues, you'll get notified in Teams as well. And another feature where we use Slack is approvals. So if you have flows that need approvals or further input, you can request them through Teams as well. So
and for the workspace error handler as well, correct?
Yes, yeah, exactly. Workspace error handler, or there's a workspace script. So here in workspace settings, you see something called Slack. If you have a Slack resource connected, you can pick a script that will be executed if you trigger the /windmill command in Slack. Will offer the same support for Teams as well. So you can basically trigger a flow or a script through a command in Teams. So
yes,
really, that's
it's been a very requested features. We have a lot of company that are stuck with Teams, and so they're going to be very glad to hear that now we support it on this. We're going to support it on the same level as Microsoft Teams.
Yeah, and I'm currently in the stage where I'm kind of testing things out. So you see here, I'm sending a bunch of messages to our bot, and yeah, we'll have instructions how you can set up your own Teams bot very soon. Cool. On top of that, just a very small feature where we've merged recently. If you have set up git-sync in your workspace, and you set up your Git repo. Right now, or before this merged feature, you were unable to git-sync if your repo required signed commits. So your repo would reject the sync because the commit was not signed with a valid signature. So if you have such a setup and you would like to sign your commits, there is now an optional field in your Git repo resource type called GPG key. So you can either create a new GPG key resource or add a GPG key resource here, where basically you can provide the email address of that GPG key and the private key, which will be stored as a secret in the Windmill database, and the passphrase if you have one for your GPG key. And then all the commits coming from Windmill to your Git repo will be signed with that GPG key. Make sure if you use this feature that this matches the data you put into GitHub or your Git repo platform, so that it can match your key to your public key that you added on GitHub or GitLab or whatever. So yeah, that one's live and has been merged. Yeah, and that's it for me.
Let me take over. All right, so on my side, I'm going to show a little feature I worked on this week. So it's basically giving you the ability to run scripts on behalf of the script last editor instead of yourself. So here we have two scripts that were created by another user. I'm currently a different user, right? And this is both are the same scripts, so they simply return the email of the user the script is run as. So in this case, if I run the script, we see that it's my email address. But if I run the other, which is exactly the same script with a different setting, we see that we get the email address of the last editor. I'll show you where the setting is. It's in the runtime settings here at the bottom. So this is pretty cool if you need to, if you have like a script which accesses some secrets or resources, but you don't want the user to have access to it, or the runners or the operators to have access to it, because they won't need the permissions, so they won't be able to see it itself, but you can still use it in the script. And this also works directly inside of flows as workspace scripts. And yeah, so yeah, that's a little feature, but I think it can be quite useful in some cases. So.
Yeah, it will be super useful. Just to add a bit of context, basically, this is pretty much how apps work. Then apps encapsulate the permission of the publisher of the app. And so when you share an app, you don't need to share all the workspace scripts that you rely on. The mechanism under it is on behalf of, but basically, it's pretty much unrelated concerns to say, I want to be able to execute a script on behalf of someone, and I want to publish an app. And now we've made them very independent in the sense of like you can have the same mechanism and behavior without having to necessarily to publish an app. So the most common use cases would be if you have basically secrets credential that your scripts rely or flow rely on, and you don't want necessarily the users that is going to trigger them to have access to it, then using on behalf of, because you have access to it, they will be able to run it, but they won't necessarily need to have access to it. Etienne, I think you have a small announcement about our Svix integration, if you want to just quickly brief everyone.
Can you hear me through Ruben's mic?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So let me share my screen. So yeah, we basically just wanted to quickly announce that we now have a Svix integration. So if you don't know Svix, we recommend to go look at them. But yeah, this is a collaboration, and you will be able to basically have a little dialogue to easily add webhooks through the Svix app, and yeah, I mean that's like the little announcement we wanted to make. Pretty cool. So check it out.
Great. Yeah, so we've been working on a lot this week, but those are big projects. They're not completely done and not ready to announce, and there weren't much progress on the AI full code AI builder that I've presented last week. If you have not, if you're curious about it, you can see our previous weekly announcements where I show basically an app builder which is fully code based, where you can put full React, full Vue, full Svelte. And we're gonna spend the rest of the session today on Q&A and questions and feedback. So I'm gonna read the chat, and yeah, if there is no question, then we'll end there, and I wish everyone a great week. So I think there's a few people typing. It's not all that different, except that you can do it in the UI. So that's and you can build full apps with it. So there was one way to do it locally, but right now it's going to be a standardized way, which is going to work both locally and in the UI. One of the big things that we're going to do on top is that we're going to take inspiration from all of the state-of-the-art code editor, like Cursor and everything, so that it will be very guided by AI. So you can expect it to basically, if you like the experience with Lovable or V0 or Bolt.new, you can get some of the same experience, but targeted for internal apps, so for Windmill in particular, and the benefit that it will be able to trigger scripts and flows directly. So that's those are the main differences. Yeah, this is more of a help question, so I'm not gonna respond to that one here. I've yeah, and also I don't know at the top of my head, so I'm gonna skip to the next question. Right. Well, if there is no more questions, then I will basically wish everyone to have a great week. And yeah, very excited for the big changes that are coming in the next weeks. We have a really big refactor that Abel has been working on for the queue and the jobs, and we're going to refactor a lot of fields and everything. You should not be impacted. We've worked a lot on how to make sure that they would you would be able to do a live migration without any break. But internally and in terms of features that we'll be able to build on top, and this will be super useful. So yeah, lots of happening internally, but not everything to show right now. Cool. Have a great week, everyone.